you put the offer in writing, and bingo, not only it was accepted,
I was accepted,
but
yeah.
within 24 hours, you already got the contract, you had the chance to sign it, and now we are in the process of getting you approved, which just makes you a perfect candidate.
Wow.
All right, Alcides, welcome to my office.
Thank you.
I am so privileged and honored the fact that you won the bid. And you know that the reason why you won the bid is because when you first walked into my open house, you said that you are done deal, ready to go, 800 credit score. At the same time, it is very important for us to see who is the strongest and best candidate for our sellers. Mm-hmm. Because when we have when we have recommendation, right, to pick the best possible buyer, we have to always look for the best person that's going to go through the process in the least amount of time.
Exactly.
With the least amount of inconvenience for our client.
Exactly.
Right? When we tell our clients we have offers, we cannot lie about it, we cannot bluff about it. When we say it, it's truth and we mean it. Mm-hmm. Number two, when I told you there is other offers, you knew that there were other people coming in to look at the apartment and there were offers in writing.
Yes,
okay?
I was scared of that lady.
Why?
Because I said to myself, she's going to beat me.
Oh, well, you got lucky. Because she sold her apartment with me a couple of years ago.
Exactly.
But she gave the money to her daughter. And her money was not in her possession.
Okay.
So it would take time for her to move the money around. When it comes to accepting an offer, when it comes to the sellers, remember, I am their agent that's hired to represent them.
Sure.
It is my responsibility to get them the best buyer that is ready, willing, and able to execute fast. Right? You signed the contract, what, in 1 day?
Yeah, it was Tuesday.
In full executed contract within 3 days, correct?
Yes.
From the time we negotiate the deal to the time we send the paperwork to the lawyers to the time you sign, the seller signed. All in 1 day, correct?
Yes.
Why? Because now we do everything electronic signatures.
Yeah.
So there is no reason why on this planet Earth people shouldn't be going through transactions quick and easy. Right? So this way you don't lose the opportunity and the sellers are happy. Correct? Every co-op comes with the application and we know exactly what the requirements are. Okay? The resale application always comes in with anywhere between 10 to 20 paragraphs. Now, in many cases, it clearly states 2 most recent income tax returns. That means that when you're starting to submit your application, your tax returns must be completed. For example, right now, April 15 is coming. You have to make sure that your tax returns are done. If you are not done, you have to hurry it up and take care of it, because with the co-op boards, right now you're submitting the application in 2025, but you must show your 23-24 tax returns. Next, you do need absolutely 2 most recent pay stubs. In many cases, you have to provide unless you retire. 3 most recent bank statements. What does it mean? Here, black on white, 3 most recent bank statements. That means that the co-op board requires in the application to provide 3 most recent bank statements. So when those that come to me and say, oh, I want to buy, but my money is not in the bank yet, the conversation is over. Not because we want to be mean or not because we don't treat them with respect. We will sit down, we will go over this, we will explain everything, but I want to be very clear that it's not my made-up stories. It is here in the application, and it must be provided full package the way it's required from the co-op. 3 personal reference letters. Start correcting your reference letters. They could maneuver it and alter it to their way of proposing it to the board, but we always come from a place of simple ideas. 2 business reference letters. Then you have contract of sale. Without the contract of sale, where the buyer and the seller fully signed and executed that contract with the copy of a down payment check, they will not even entertain this application. So do you see now how much paperwork it requires? When we meet with our buyers, the buyers come into the office and we go over these applications on numerous occasions, right? Over and over again until it's fully ready in pristine way to be submitted to the board, because it's the last thing I want for me as a broker to work on something with you and God forbid it gets rejected. In our case, because we've been doing this for so many years already, we know exactly what it takes for the buyer to get approved.
Approved, yeah.
Okay? How many apartments have you looked before you made a commitment to say, I like this one?
At least 10.
What happened within this 10? Did you submit any offers?
No,
Why?
I didn't like the apartments.
You didn't like the apartment?
Or it didn't come with the something that I'm looking for, special parking.
Parking. So
Right.
parking was the key.
Yes.
So all these 10 apartments, have you looked with one broker, or you were looking online yourself and you went,
Myself.
which website have you looked?
Zillow, Realtor. Yeah, those two. Yeah.
So when you came to the open house, you were already prepared that you found something that more or less potentially you liked?
Well, according to the pictures, I think I saw, I told myself, I think this is the one.
So the most important part for you as a consumer, as a borrower, is the pictures.
And the parking. The main difference was the apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Besides, you're good looking, but the apartment was the apartment was like I was looking for.
Right.
I like the entrance, the closets,
Right.
the kitchen,
Right.
the bathroom. That thing that
Nice and clean.
the owner put the over the pipe in the bathroom.
Oh, you like the cover.
Nice. I like to have those kind of things,
Nice,
very
nice.
very neat.
So it's custom made.
Right.
Very, very nice. So you came, you looked at the apartment. What happened then?
I thought Monday you were going to call me. So I said to myself, oh, wow, maybe she doesn't remember me. Wow. I called to my son, and he tells me, well, you call her. Then I said, I want to put an offer. I want to give you the price that you're asking. And right away, your reaction was,
You have a big shot.
yes.
Why was it so?
Because the cash offer,
Cash offer.
retire.
Why do you think for the seller it's important to take a cash offer versus those that are dealing with other opportunities?
Well, the main thing is time. Time.
So
Yes.
now it shrinks the time in half
In half, yes.
because
yes.
we don't need to go through this
So
process.
the process for the mortgage, all that stuff, no.
How long did it take for us to get into a contract fully executed, signed by you and the seller?
It was 3 days.
3 days.
3 days, yeah. 3
Very
days.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. Are you right now also in the process of selling another property?
Yes.
And did I tell you clearly that it cannot be a contingency, right?
Yes.
Do you as a consumer understand why?
Because I will get rejected.
It's very simple. When someone is selling a property and then they coming into us with a contingency of them selling another property,
Right.
the seller that you're trying to convince to accept your offer has a high risk of understanding if that deal doesn't go through,
Exactly.
then their deal could also be in the high danger of dying.
Exactly.
Right? So usually the sellers do not want to tie themselves into contingencies.
Exactly.
Why? Because they don't want to overlap their contract with yours.
Exactly.
When you finish your business, then you come. Now, in your case, you had enough funds available to buy this apartment
Right.
and to still go through the process of closing on the other one.
Exactly.
Which makes you a perfect candidate.
Wow.
So when we explain all of this to our potential clients, right, I want buyers and sellers to understand there is a lot of moving pieces to this puzzle where we as brokers coming in with tremendous amount of experience, and that's what we do daily. We don't just do this once in a while. This is something that we do
Every
day in, day
every
out,
day.
day in, day out.
Yeah.
And when we being hired, I want people to really, really understand. People are not paying us just because we look pretty. Right now, my client who made a commitment to go on the contract with you, that client right now in a position where he bought his apartment. And now he's gonna peacefully pack his stuff and move into the new place, knowing that there is no contingency.
Exactly.
And just the most important part, even on the contract of sale, there is no contingency on the sale of your unit. That means that no mortgage contingency, no selling anything contingency. That makes you a top tier priority over every other offer I received. You put the offer in writing and bingo, not a only it was accepted.
I was accepted,
But
yeah.
within 24 hours, you already got the contract, you had a chance to sign it, and now we are in the process of getting you approved. How many times we already met in the past few days?
Today is the second
time.
Yes.
Why is it important for you as a consumer to meet with me second time in my office?
Very important.
Why?
First of all, I want the apartment. I want to get approved. I'm getting the papers wherever you ask me.
Right.
Or
So
wherever the
application
the
stays.
trustees, you know.
So when you first came in, what did we do? We went through the application.
Exactly.
I gave you a lot of work to
At
do.
least,
right?
yes.
We
yes.
went through all the list of things that must be done.
Right.
And then you went on to collect it. You
Correct.
called me how many days later? 2 days later.
2 days later.
2
yeah.
days later, you had your reference letters.
Right.
You had your tax returns.
Right.
You have all your IRS transcripts.
Correct.
You had everything that's required for the co-op. So now what you have to do, just do the notary,
Notary, yes.
finish off the
Finish, yes,
application with all the information I gave you from
Go
the
to the
contract for
notary,
sale.
have you signed it?
And then you come back and we're ready to finish off with the dates and ready to submit the application for the board approval.
Correct.
My advice to all the people that are looking to buy or to sell, try to work with a broker who has a very strong client base, because when people coming to us to sell, we already have clients that are ready to go.
Correct.
Now, do we do open houses to get clients like you? Absolutely.
Sure.
Are you going to become my client for life? Absolutely.
Yes.
And now it is my pleasure and honor to put you into my database. So this way, when you walk and talk, you could tell every single one your experience and how everything transpired,
Correct.
nice and smooth.
Exactly.
Why did you sell your house?
It was too big for me.
And you couldn't maintain it anymore?
Exactly.
Too many bills?
Too many bills, too many bedrooms, too many bathrooms.
Too much liability?
Exactly.
Very
Yes.
good. So you decided to sell your house
Right.
because it was too much maintenance to worry about.
Exactly.
Shoveling it off the snow, wasting money on taxes.
Exactly.
You know, there is no children going to schools anymore.
To heat up the house.
So technically, to heat, so for utilities, it's a waste of money.
Exactly.
Right? So we're looking for clients like you that get into their common sense to understand,
Right.
that it's time for them to move.
Exactly.
Because the maintenance and overhead of all expenses is becoming a waste of money. Right? When you have a big family, when you have children growing, they're going to school, you need all these rooms. Yes, when you need it, you need to pay for it.
Sure.
But when you don't need it and you're a single individual or two people only living in this big monster house, what is the best piece of advice to those that are going through the same process?
Downsize.
Downsize. Why do you think it's important?
It hurts.
Right.
Financially, it hurts
Right.
to keep a
So
house.
it's draining all your money.
Exactly.
So it's draining all the liquid money that you have in your banks.
Yes.
So now that you are downsized and you are moving into a nice co-op,
Right.
how do you project your life?
Well, peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
all
No
the
worries.
way.
No worries about bills.
No worry about bills. No worry about, no. Don't worry about shoveling.
Good.
Don't worry
Everything
about
is
cutting the
packed.
grass.
Water is included. No bills for water.
Right.
Taxes are included.
Right.
No worries about tax bills. Right. Electricity in many apartments you need to pay of your own.
Right.
But cooking gas in this particular building is included.
Included.
Not only that, you're also getting a parking inside the garage.
Exactly.
You having a living super. Okay, you have an amazing board members. By the way, majority of the board members are my past clients.
Wow, look at
So those that been through this process with me before,
Right.
they know that Olga doesn't bring shitty applications.
Okay.
People that been through this process before, they know that if they see my name on the paperwork and my applications, 99.9% they're gonna love everything.
Okay.
Because they've been through the
Well,
same
you do the
process.
right thing.
They've been through this process before. But the main point is, you went through selling previous property, right? You right now bought another co-op. You lived in there for what, year and a half?
Yes.
What is the main reason you're moving out from there?
It's the maintenance. It's too much.
The figures of monthly payments is extremely important.
Yes.
In many cases, when buyers are looking, I want to be very, very open and clear. If the maintenance is high, the price of the units will be lower.
Exactly.
Why? Pay attention to financials of the buildings. For me personally, I only work and represent buildings that have excellent financials. Why? Because my business is established in repeat business. I do not want you to buy an apartment that is in the building that has financial instability.
Exactly.
Because then I will not be able to sell. Remember, when we're selling apartments, it requires for you to not only to sell you to the seller to get it approved, right? It is then I need to convince the bank that this apartment is worth on its value. That means that we need to make sure that the bank on its appraised value will approve the actual value that they're giving you the money to land. Yes. Right? And then the third time is the board. I need to sell you to the board. I need to make sure that the board is so convinced that you are the right candidate. So when we are selling apartments, I want the sellers to understand that what we do is completely not a joke. It's a lot of work. I personally think that from what we do, it worth 3 times more. Okay? Yeah. Because the amount of time and the hours and the effort and the attention that we put into every single client, it takes a lot. Okay? And I want the clients to understand that leverage the opportunity of Douglas Elliman brand and presence. Because the way we do marketing, I can tell you that not too many brokers do. The way we do a Zakinova team marketing, not too many brokers do. Look, it's Sunday, right? I have my other team members are doing open houses, and I am in the office with you going over the applications and making sure that you will not waste any time because I am busy at other locations. Right. I structure my time in a way that it's so properly managed that I'm meeting with you in a timely manner so you could submit your application on time
as soon as possible, yes.
So it doesn't cost you time and money. This is very, very important. Where did you live before that house?
In Woodside.
Woodside.
Yeah.
How many years before that?
18 years.
18 years.
Yes.
So you went from 18 years to 6 years to 1.5,
right,
and now to this place.
Until my death.